The Entertainment Press is an entertainment blog. This article is titled, Do You Lie? A Defense of Under the Cherry Moon, and was published on Monday, July 3, 2023. This video is an audio version of that article. It reads, It's July 3, 2023. Tomorrow will be the national holiday, 4th of July, in the States. Yesterday was July 2nd. That was the date that the film, Under the Cherry Moon, was released in 1986, 37 years ago to date. Thus, celebrating its 37th anniversary since being released. This article is being written to weigh in on the often harsh criticism of an 80s box office flop. The negatives and the positives will be evaluated. The negatives. What went wrong? Under the Cherry Moon was released, coming off the heels of Prince's so-called masterpiece Purple Rain. It was swiftly panned mostly for not being the sequel to Purple Rain, just as much as it was for being misunderstood. When it came time for awards given out for the worst films, Under the Cherry Moon walked away with 5, including a tie with Howard the Duck for Worst Picture. A night of dissatisfaction at the 7th Annual Golden Raspberry Awards held at the legendary haunted Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel in March of 1987. The film was also nominated for an award for Worst Picture at 1986's 9th Stinkers Bad Movie Awards. Much like The Wiz did for Diana Ross and Michael Jackson's acting careers on the big screen, Under the Cherry Moon is more or less the movie that killed Prince's viability as a screen icon. Prince definitely should have had more movie roles and been a bigger star in film than what he turned out to be. The potential was there. After its failure, Prince seemed to lose interest in the filmmaking process, possibly because he found it difficult to reconcile his one-man band approach to creating music with the filmmaking process in which countless of hands are required to help create even the most individual of visions. In 1990, he finally gave everyone the Purple Rain sequel they had been clamoring for, but the result, Graffiti Bridge 1990, was uniquely nothing like its predecessor. Sadly, Prince never acted in or directed a feature film again after Graffiti Bridge. Not counting any direct-to-video movies, television shows or concert films where he played himself. Under the Cherry Moon faced several challenges that contributed to its lackluster performance at the box office and mixed reception among audiences and critics. Here are a few factors that may have influenced its underwhelming performance. 1. Prince's unique style. Prince was primarily known as a musician, and his foray into filmmaking with Under the Cherry Moon might have been seen as unconventional or unexpected. The film's stylized black and white cinematography and eccentric storytelling approach may not have resonated with mainstream audiences, who were more accustomed to traditional narrative structures at the time. This is what Warner Brothers was afraid of from the start. Thus it was agreed that the film would be shot on color stock but processed into black and white in post-production. 2. Mixed critical reception. The film received predominantly negative reviews from critics upon its release. Some criticized the film's plot, viewing it as convoluted or lacking substance. Others found fault with Prince's acting and directorial choices. Negative reviews can significantly impact a film's success, as they can deter potential viewers from watching it. 3. Limited marketing and distribution. The film's marketing campaign may not have effectively conveyed its unique appeal or reached its target audience. Additionally, the distribution strategy might not have been extensive enough to garner significant attention or attract a large number of viewers. 4. Competition. Under the Cherry Moon was released during a competitive period at the box office, with other high-profile films capturing audiences' attention. Tough competition from other popular films can make it challenging for a smaller or niche film to gain traction and draw in audiences. 5. Lack of commercial appeal. The film's artistic and unconventional nature may have limited its appeal to a broader audience. Its black and white cinematography and stylistic choices, while visually striking, might not have aligned with the mainstream taste at the time. The positives. What went right? The film marked Prince's directorial debut, who also wrote and starred in the movie. There's a positive. It also marks another debut, that of its female lead Kristen Scott Thomas in her feature film debut. There's another positive. Prince was always getting careers started and bringing new talent into the industry to work with him. Under the Cherry Moon is known for its stylized black and white cinematography, which gives the film a classic and timeless feel. Note that the film was shot in color. Like Dorothy stepping into Oz from her gray Kansas home, the audience never gets to see the true scale of the magnificent costume pieces worn by the cast as well as other interesting aspects of the film until glancing at still pictures and principal photography in full color. Aside from photographs, none of the color footage has yet emerged with the exception of the music videos for Mountains, which is the same as the end credits sequence in the film but kept in its original colored format for the video version, making the film even more magical. Prince's music is also a significant contribution which makes the film great. with several original songs featured throughout, including the popular #1 United States hit, Kiss. The music adds an additional layer of emotional depth and enhances the romantic atmosphere of the story. The movie's soundtrack album, Parade, sold over 1 million copies and achieved platinum status in the United States, United Kingdom, the Netherlands and in France. Something else positive that came from the making of the film was that Prince gained a new musical collaborator. Jazz keyboardist-composer-arranger Claire Fisher experienced his first of many recorded collaborations with Prince due to the film. Parade was named one of the best albums of 1986 by The Village Voice and NME magazine, who named it their album of the year. Parade was released on March 31, 1986 to acclaim from music critics, who viewed it as a creative comeback after the critical disappointment of Around the World in a Day. Although the film received mixed reviews upon its release, it has gained a cult following over the years, largely due to Prince's involvement and the unique blend of musical and cinematic elements, with fans appreciating its unique aesthetic and Prince's creative vision. Despite its initial reception, the film remains an interesting piece of Prince's artistic legacy and a representation of his creative vision beyond his musical endeavors. The film's legacy itself has evolved beyond its initial reception, and it is now regarded as an intriguing part of Prince's artistic journey. Conclusion. Overall, regardless of anything negative anyone has to say about UTCM, it is a pretty decent film. It may not fit everyone's criteria for the perfect film, but it is definitely worth a watch. It holds the audience to a solid viewing experience nonetheless. Especially for those who have never had the opportunity to see the film. In a lot of ways, it is better than Purple Rain. For sure, Graffiti Bridge can't hold a candle to it. The film's contemporaneous negative reception had to have been due to people expecting it to resemble Purple Rain. The better option would be to have accepted this film for what it was and made educated remarks based off of that alone. With that being said, the film shows considerable effort, and that's why it's memorable and loved. In parting, this audio is dedicated to the loving memory of the musician Prince Rogers Nelson. We hope you enjoyed.